Hi, I'm Bill from Poolmiser. Okay, installation of the valve. The pool is ready to go. You have stacked. You're going to pull the newspaper that you protected the inside of the tank with out of the way, and you're going to install the valve now. The easiest way I find to install the valve is you'll see this ring on the bottom of the valve itself that connects the stem itself to the valve body. And you're going to want to pop that ring up just like that, and then firmly grasping the two ends, pull them apart. Then you can just set your valve down, and this unit here is much easier to screw into the bottom of the tank when it's not connected to the valve. It's much smaller on your hands. And then there's a couple of things that you're going to attach to the very bottom of the valve. The first thing is the filter itself, and it's going to push into it fits perfectly in there, and then you just pop it in. And it's a filter, and it's going to keep debris from getting in and clogging the valve itself. The second piece that you put on the valve is the washer, and it's just simply going to slide on and seat at the bottom. The valve that we sell with our Poolmiser has a pressure reducer built into it. A valve you buy at the hardware store is not going to have that. So if ever you reach a point where you're going to replace the valve, I highly recommend you buy it directly from us. This pressure reducer lowers the pressure down to between 30 and 50 pounds of pressure, and assures that you're not going to get water hammer when the water turns on and off and on and off. Sometimes the equalizer line is slow, or sometimes it's run a great distance, and the valve will turn on, it'll fill up the tank, but it won't equalize to the pool quickly enough. So it'll turn off and then on and off, and that's called the water hammer. And this pressure reducer diminishes the possibility of water hammer happening. So again, if you replace the valve, I highly recommend you buy it from us and not from your hardware store. Okay, installing this into the tank. There are the three orifices in the bottom of the tank. Only one of them has threads in it, and the threads of a toilet valve are very specific. There's nothing in American plumbing that matches it. So if you needed to extend it, you would need to get a part from us to do that. It will not take 3/4 inch plumbing. It's actually 15/16 with 14 threads per inch. So it's a good fact to know if you are trying to put a plug in or to do a test run. You're going to need the proper threading in order to do that. Okay, the valve goes in to the threaded portion, and because you've got nothing else in there, it makes it very easy to simply turn that valve all the way until it seats into the bottom, so that the valve sits and creates a tight seal so there's no water leakage. Okay, I believe I've got it all the way in. Okay, now that you have that installed in and it's firmly put in and tight, remember this is the valve itself, and it's going to go on top of the stem. If this were on while you were trying to screw it in, it would be very, very difficult to do. So I highly advise that little trick with separating the valve body from the valve stem. So with this little ring still in the position it was when you moved it to get the valve out, you're going to take the valve and you're simply going to set it on. You're going to push it down to wherever you want that valve water level to be, up and down. It's got about 3.5, 4 inches of adjustment. So you just move it up and down. When you get it to the right spot, you're going to push that ring back on firmly, and then you know you have a good tight fit. It won't come popping off to you. Okay, the next thing, now that you have the valve in, you're going to put the overflow pipe in. It's a tight fitting pipe. You do not need to glue it. If you glue it, it takes the possibility of removing it in case you want to replace the valve. So you just slide it into the 1-inch hole, just put it in firmly and you're good to go. All right, so that's what the inside of the tank looks like when you're ready to hook it up. So this is sitting in the ground now. You can start your Poolmiser. Turn the water on, it will fill up the tank. It'll fill up the pool, obviously. And when you get the pool to the proper level, the float is going to float up and it's going to stop water flow. Basically, that's your installation. When the pool deck is finished, the ring and lid has a 3-inch margin of error, so that when you install it into the tank, onto the top of the tank, depending upon the height of your concrete deck, you can lower it down so it's sitting right even with the deck itself. And then you can also see that there's the 3 holes here. Your final installation is to screw these down and set this into the concrete.